Google is creating a group of trusted flaggers who will help the company monitor alleged extremist content on the website. Dennis Prager is a radio show host. He knows a lot about this. He founded PragerU. Last fall, he sued Google, saying that YouTube is restricting his videos for being conservative.
The internet is largely controlled in terms of information by Google, which also uses and runs YouTube.
Yes.
So if they don't allow a free flow of information, it would be as if, I don't know, to make an odd analogy, your airport said only people on the left can fly airplanes, can be passengers on airplanes. That would be an equivalent. That is what is now happening. Our lawsuit is so much bigger than us. It's big in and of itself. We had 600 million views last year, and that's probably why YouTube is not a big fan of ours, because we really are effective. We have 4 Pulitzer Prize winners, and we have professors from Stanford, Harvard, Yale, giving courses, these 5-minute courses. They're very effective. They present a side of life that is never heard or almost never heard on our campuses. So they have decided that they will put, in this case, 40 of our 300 videos on the restricted list, meaning it joins pornography and violence being restricted. So, for example, we had a video by Victor Davis Hanson, who, if you know, is the opposite of a flamethrower.
Yes.
He is about as even-tempered a professor as exists in the world. And he gave a thought, why did we fight in Korea? That was on the restricted list. After a big battle, it's back on. Here, Alan Dershowitz is a liberal. He gave a course titled "The Legal Founding of Israel." That's on the restricted list.
So, are you convinced, after going through this long process and digging into the suit, that Google's motives are ideological?
There is no other possibility. We have videos on the exact same subjects as liberal and left-wing videos. They're never censored, and ours is.
Google is policing the content posted to YouTube, and they're using a thoroughly discredited left-wing group to do that. It's the Southern Poverty Law Center. It's not an expert on the South or poverty or the law. John Stossel recently explained the truth about this group in an amazing report. Here's part of it.
The Southern Poverty Law Center, based in that building in Alabama, calls itself the premier group monitoring hate groups. Looking at their map of such groups, you'd think America was consumed by hate. I once believed in the center's mission. Well-meaning people still do. Apple just gave them $1 million. But what donors don't know is that today the center smears people who don't deserve to be smeared. The Southern Poverty Law Center now lists people like Ben Carson, Laura Ingraham, and Jeannie Pirro as extremists. But it doesn't list Antifa, the hate group that beats up people on the right. The center's become a hate group itself. It's now a left-wing, money-grabbing slander machine.
Former Google software engineer James Damore was fired in August after he wrote a memo criticizing the company's diversity requirements. And he also suggested biology might account for the dearth of women in the tech industry. I know you took the case to the NLRB, the National Labor Relations Board, which a lot of people watching going, oh, what's that? But you took the case there. What happened?
So James filed a case with the NLRB the day he was fired. So that happened before he got counsel. And the National Labor Relations Act, which is implemented by the board, protects the rights of workers to discuss their working conditions. And so the memo that James wrote falls into that category of discussing some of the illegal quotas and other practices that they do at Google that he complained about. And
so you were saying that's protected under the NLRB,
correct?
Which seems like that kind of makes sense. Okay,
right.
Go on.
And so we also got geared up to file a lawsuit that would cover employment claims under California law. So the National Labor Relations Board has a number of regional offices, and the regional office that governs our region decided that James had a case, and so
good. Okay, good news.
Move forward with the case. Now, when somebody's fired, they're supposed to act quickly within weeks to try to have a hearing and get them returned to their job. So we were waiting and waiting and waiting, and then finally we realized something's going on. And it turns out that what happened was Google went and lobbied the Washington office of the NLRB. Obama holdovers at the NLRB decided to overrule the Regional Office of Career Professionals.
Does that happen often?
Protected. It doesn't happen often.
I debated a man from the left at a synagogue in San Francisco a couple of months ago, and that was put on the internet. They have put that on a restricted list. A debate in a synagogue known for pornography and violence, needless to say. Apparently, they feel that I did better than the man on the left, and so they have put that on the restricted list. It's transparently ideological.
In Silicon Valley, you have to understand, Google is the 800-pound gorilla, and so people are afraid of irritating Google. I mean, I'm using a euphemism here.
Right.
And smaller companies don't want to hire somebody because they want to get acquired by Google.
Google, YouTube, I mean, these are the ways that people understand reality. And so if someone's got his thumb on the scale, then you're not getting all the information you need to make up your own mind.
Right. That's why this lawsuit is important in and of itself, and it is important for another equally important reason, the court of public opinion. In
court, you have a supposedly neutral judge. You've talked about that a little bit on your show today. But a judge hears both sides, and then there's some evidence taken, and then there's a decision based on that. In agencies, which is a lot of what we have going on here in the swamp in D.C., a lot of faceless bureaucrats make very critical decisions about the future of companies and policies. And so what Google employees may not know is that Google has an army of lawyers who are actively lobbying the National Labor Relations Board to cut back rights for workers.
We need to say, or Google needs to say, to be more precisely, Google needs to say, the truth is, we are not a conduit for free expression. We are here to, in fact, promote our views that are on the left.